But we're living in an age where 90% or more of food in grocery stores is processed garbage, right? You go up to a packaged food, you look at the ingredients, you are going to be blown away at how many ingredients in there that you just don't know what they are. Hey, what's going on? My name is Schuyler Diehm. I'm a men's fitness coach, and in this video, we are going to be talking about the best diets out there. Now, if you've been working on losing weight for a while, odds are you've tried a lot of different diets out there. And for good reason, right? Like, there are a lot of different diet choices out there. From keto to paleo, vegetarian, vegan, Mediterranean, raw, low carb, no sugar. Like, this list goes on and on and on and on and on. And so for someone who maybe isn't totally educated about nutrition, for someone who doesn't fully understand how to lose weight, it can be really frustrating, especially if you pick a diet over and over and over and it just fails, right? Whether you fail, like you fall off, you submit to cravings, or you do the diet and you're doing the dang thing and you're still not seeing the weight loss results. So that's why in this video, I really wanted to dive into the qualifications for what is a good diet, right? Like, what is a good diet that's gonna help you achieve weight loss results? And so if you're looking for more ways to simplify your fitness and weight loss, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But I wanna get one thing out of the way. I've been asked a lot of times, and it's a topic that comes up often, is do diets work? And we've heard that statistic out there that 95% of diets fail. And I just want to make it clear, diets work if you work them, right? But the problem is that most diets make it very difficult for people to work them. It's why diets are successful, because they are possible to see really awesome results. It's possible to see great results on keto. It's possible to see great results on Atkins, on vegetarian, on gluten-free, on vegan, on sugar-free. All these diets, it's extremely, extremely possible to see results. But for most people, they're not actually meeting the qualifications for what they need, because there's a very specific type of person. Every single person is different out there, and so for diets, it requires a very specific style of dieting for each person to see success. And so bottom line is, before we dive into it, we have to understand that diets work if you work them, but of course there's going to be qualifications to make them actually work. And so I really was just sitting down and just kind of thinking about, what does it take for a diet to work? Like, why do some diets work for some people but then completely fail for others? And so what I put together are 3 different things that are super, super important for when you are choosing a diet that's going to work for you. So number 1 is really any diet that can allow you to create a calorie deficit is important. Now, you probably heard this before, right? Burn more calories than you consume, and you're probably rolling your eyes at this answer. But let me make this clear. I am not a believer in counting calories, right? I think it can work for some people if you're the right type of person, you live the right type of lifestyle. But for the average person who's going out to eat, who's spending time with family, who maybe is having food cooked for them from time to time, it can be really, really stressful to count calories. And so what I believe in is finding ways to regulate your portions, choosing more natural foods, and moving more. Now, of course, that's a wide range of things, but whenever you're choosing a diet to stick to, one of the most important things is this going to allow me to create a calorie deficit? Which is this going to allow me to burn more calories than I consume? And so with most diets out there, the answer is yes, right? They probably work if done right. Now, of course, if you're having something like gluten-free or sugar-free or keto or any diet, if you choose to overeat at every single meal, if you are not burning enough calories throughout the day by moving, by regulating stress, by getting enough sleep, the diet's not going to work. And so you can't just choose a diet and say, hey, because keto is telling me that I can eat all the fats I want because it puts me into ketosis, which helps me burn fat, but you're shoving calories upon calories of butter and oils and proteins in your mouth, you're not going to lose weight, right? And so that's the first thing I want to get out of the way, is that no matter what diet you choose, you need to decide to be in a calorie deficit. And some diets make it much easier, right? Like, if you are just going off processed food and you're counting calories, it can be very difficult to stay in a calorie deficit because your body's going to be craving nutrition, and because processed food can actually slow your metabolism, causing you to burn less calories. But with most things out there, if you are being intentional with how you consume the foods that are within your limits on your diet, then it's going to work. But of course, that's not the whole picture, right? Because I could say any diet, you could create a calorie deficit. And that's why I wanted to go over guideline number 2, which is you want to do it healthy. This is a caveat that a lot of people get caught up in, is they truly don't understand that some of the foods out there that claim to be healthy are actually full of ingredients that are processed, that are slowing their metabolism, destroying the motivation centers of their brain, and making it that much more difficult for them to lose weight, right? Just because a package says all natural, or just because it says organic, or just because it says even gluten-free or sugar-free, that doesn't mean that it's healthy, right? And so what I truly believe is one of the best strategies to use to lose weight is just prioritizing real food. And it sounds simple, but we're living in an age where 90% or more of food in grocery stores is processed garbage, right? You go up to a packaged food, you look at the ingredients, you are going to be blown away at how many ingredients in there that you just don't know what they are. And so just to make this very clear, just because a package says gluten-free on it does not mean it's healthy. There are 1,000 ingredients out there that are gluten-free that are completely awful for you. Same thing goes for sugar-free, right? There's artificial sweeteners that allow something to be sugar-free that actually destroy your gut and make it more difficult to lose weight. And I could go across the board with almost every single diet. There's almost always going to be ingredients that are compliant with that diet that are making it more difficult for you to stay in that calorie deficit. So whatever diet you choose, always prioritizing real foods. And that in itself is going to be a massive step. But again, I was diving into how diets work, when they don't work, and these two things are great, but I don't think they're enough. And that's why I think there is a third category in here, which is I don't believe that you should choose a diet that doesn't allow you to have a food ever. Now, there's a specific type of person that this works for. There's a specific type of person that can be very, very strict with keto and never have pasta, never have bread, and can make it work. There's a specific type of person that can go vegan and never have meat again in their life. But what I truly believe is that a well-rounded diet is one that allows you to have any food that you would like from time to time. Because what happens is if you restrict yourself with these foods, you're going to eventually want them. Eventually, you're going to have them. You're going to feel like you failed, and then you're going to ruin all your progress and self-sabotage. And so, yes, you can cheat on your diet, right? Cheat meals, you can call them that. You can do something like that. But if you feel like a failure when you have something that's not within the guidelines of your diet, you're going to sabotage and you're going to have a really rough time losing weight. And so that's why I believe for the person that has this hard mentality, like they're super hard on themselves, they find themselves getting in this cycle of, dieting, starving themselves, and then binging. One of the best things you can do is create a lifestyle around eating that doesn't cut out any foods. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, so counting calories is a way to do this, but I don't believe it's effective because it doesn't help you prioritize what is healthy for your body, what's nutritious for your body, and what's not. And so what I believe is focusing on a specific style of eating, but allowing yourself that leeway. So what I do with my clients is I work on them with fasting. Fasting is what I believe to be one of the most effective strategies for weight loss out there if done right. And with fasting, because you're not eating during a certain portion of the day, yes, you should prioritize whole foods, prioritize healthy fats and proteins and vegetables, but no, it's not a huge deal if you have a beer, you have some wings, you have a pizza, you have a burger, because fasting helps offset that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that whatever diet you choose, you need to be okay with veering off of that diet from time to time. If you go vegan, if you go vegetarian, if you go carnivore, paleo, any of these diets, it's okay to just veer off, to have a cookie every once in a while, to have a cake. But of course, moderation. That's not something where you can justify, well, it's just one cookie, but it's a cookie every couple hours or every day. So there needs to be that range of balance. So that's a lot right there. But just to sum that up, those three things that really go into what makes a good diet is anything that allows you to get into a calorie deficit, anything that helps you prioritize whole, real foods, and anything that doesn't cut out any food forever. Right? Because it would really suck to say, hey, I can't have pasta anymore for the rest of my life. So I know making this video, if enough people see this, there's going to be people saying, oh, Schuyler, but what about this? What about that? There's always going to be a specific type of person. There's always going to be special cases, but I promise you for the average person, these three are going to be the most important to staying on track and making weight loss work in the long term. Because we all know that Susie who she goes for the perfect diet, the salads, the chicken breast, the broccoli, and she doesn't have anything else, and then she loses the weight, she starts introducing foods again, and then she ends right back up where she started, or even more. And we don't want to be that person. So be smart, prioritize the right types of foods at the right times, make sure you're being gentle with yourself and allowing yourself some leeway, and ultimately if you keep that up, I truly believe you're on your way to incredible weight loss. So with that being said, I am curious, what diet out there is your current favorite? What diet would you consider yourself on? Or are you just on a diet where you're just careful with what you eat? Let me know in the comments, and of course, if you're looking for more ways to simplify fat loss, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check the link in our description for a guide on how we help men lose weight using fasting, weight training, and mindfulness. And of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.